Hey everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel, Greg's Restorations. This has been a project that we have been working on for about 4 years now. It is a custom Toyota Landcruiser Restomod with an LS3 V8 in it. A lot of stuff from a lot of different years to kind of make the ultimate, in my opinion, FJ40. So it's got an earlier style front end on it, early pre-1970 hood on it, pre-1974 turn signals on it, also pre-1974 doors, but it's got a later year hardtop that came from 77 and newer, but it's still got the rear barn doors and hatch from pre-1974 Land Cruiser as well. This project started off, was never supposed to be this kind of crazy. So this vehicle started out its life as a kind of a hodgepodge, I guess you would say. It was not a perfect truck, bought on auction online. It ran and drove, but it needed a lot of work. The vehicle was brought in for a soft top and some hard doors because it didn't have anything on it. And living up here in New England, it gets cold in the fall months and also in the spring. It needed wiring work, it needed engine work. The customer was like, well, I'd like to fully restore this vehicle at some point. And I was like, look, with our workflow and our schedule, you won't be able to get this truck back in for 2 years. I was like, if you leave it, we'll do it. So the vehicle ended up staying, and then it just kind of morphed into this truck that I have behind me now. Virtually the only thing that is left from this truck that we started with is the frame, the axles, and the hood and the front grille. Everything else has been changed, but when you pop open the hood, it's pretty crazy underneath the hood. Originally, from the factory, this truck would have had a 2F straight 6 in it. But when it came into our shop, somebody had already swapped in a Chevy 350 carbureted engine with 3-speed Chevrolet truck transmission on it. We took all that stuff out. The engine was really tired, and the level of build that we were doing on this, we wanted to go with something a little better. So we went with a fuel-injected LS3, 430 horsepower engine. We got this as a GM factory crate engine that is bolted up to a H55F 5-speed transmission transfer case combo. With a electric emergency brake off of the transfer case. Originally this truck would have had a drum brake setup, but with the transfer case style it wouldn't have worked, so we had to go with this disc brake setup. And we added the electric emergency brake just to give it a nice custom touch. Makes it stand out against all the other Land Cruisers that I've seen built. Another little feature was they added these automated hood shocks. So when you open the hood, it comes right up. So this vehicle was equipped with a vintage air conditioning and heating system. What I like about their kits is they fit very well. The parts are very quality. It's a nice custom but modern touch to the vehicle, and it's not too over the top. So this vehicle's also got a tilt steering column with forever sharp steering wheel. It's got a nice little custom touch to that with Saginaw power steering. This vehicle's got upgraded front LED headlights with LED KC daylighter fog lights with spot reverse lights underneath the rear bumper as well. So the bumpers on this truck, in the front we've got a CCOT of Texas front bumper on it. It's a nice little rugged, stout bumper. It's not too over the top. I've loved these bumpers ever since I was a kid. I've had one on my truck, so we put one on this, nice black powder-coated finish. On the rear, we went with a Kmar rear tire carrier bumper with jerry can holder. This vehicle also has factory OEM jerry cans as well. They were the last 2 we could order. They were very, very expensive, but we wanted to have it for this build. I have not seen this style Kmar bumper in the States on another Land Cruiser. It's got the upgraded LED taillights on it as well. It's really nice. We just had to wait 1 year to get it. Sherwin-Williams helped us out a lot with this vehicle, with their products. We used all of their undercoats and base coats and clear coats for this as well. Everything from start to finish with their Ultra Series line. This paint is a factory color. It's a dune beige. All of the glass on this vehicle is all brand new, except for the rear corner windows. One thing that's like a pet peeve of mine is seeing scratched glass. When this vehicle was coming to life, I wanted to make sure that it had all brand new glass in it. It just really stands out against the paint and bodywork that we do. And one of the nice features about this truck driving it is it's got a polarized windshield in it. It's slightly tinted, so like when you're driving it, you don't get that glare when you're driving down the road. It's like such a nice feature. Like today we were out driving it and you couldn't even get that glare in your eyes. It's a really nice touch. One of the cool features about this truck is it has a 70th anniversary edition 8274 winch. The company's been around for a long time, and these are one of the winches that they were offering, so special winch for a special truck. Inside of it is coated with a color-matched Raptor bed liner. It's a nice touch, it's durable, scratch resistant, and you know, you're getting in and out of these trucks, you're taking them to the beach, you're taking them to do family activities, and usually from the factory these trucks are painted, but we went with something a little more durable. For the interior on this truck, we went with all factory seats. Everything was restored to factory specs, all new foam, all new covers. This vehicle didn't have any, they had some aftermarket seats in it when it came in, so we ended up pulling some seats out of a parts truck and restoring them with all upgraded seat belts. Center console is a Tuffy security console. Goes right with the interior. It's a nice little touch. It's not too over the top. For the dash, we went with custom billet, all pull knobs. All the factory knobs were kind of beat up, but it still has the factory insignia on them to make it look kind of factory. And then we went with a retro auto sound system. Their head units mimic the factory radios that these trucks would have came with back in the day, but this one's got some more modern features. It's got Bluetooth, Sirius XM. This also has a Dakota Digital gauge cluster in it. Very modernized, very easy to use, and it kind of goes with the flow of the vehicle. Toyo Open Country Mud Terrain. They are a 315 70R17 on black Rhino wheels. We also have a nice Warren locking hub on there to go with the front winch as well. These wheels never fit this truck, so modern vehicles have a smaller hub size, and these wheels are built for newer vehicles. So when we went to try to put these wheels on this truck, they wouldn't fit over the front locking hubs. So we actually sent the wheels out to a machine shop and had them bored out to be able to fit over the hubs. So these wheels are actually custom fit for this truck. The only downfall is the hub size is now larger, so we didn't have any factory caps to go over the rear wheels. So we ended up taking some factory FJ40 center caps for their wheels, and we cut them down and made special mounted brackets to mount to these wheels. It took some time to fabricate them, but it's a nice custom touch, and it goes with everything. The vehicle's got about a 4-inch lift kit in it. It's got a very nice stance to it. It's not too over the top, but it's a nice driving vehicle going down the road. We made all in-house. They're a copper coated brake lines. So like when you look under the truck, they're not stainless. They're actually like a copper color, and they just kind of stand out against the frame. It's a pretty good product. They're easy to make. We were going to go with a pre-bent stainless line kit, but so many things on this truck were not original, so we made our own kit so everything could work. Another feature on this truck that I really like is I look at a lot of other people's V8 builds, and they just kind of either have no air intake on them or just like an air filter put on it. This one I wanted to make our own cold air intake for it, so I kind of spent a lot of time fabricating and making a system that'll work, that'll actually suck cold air in from the outside of the truck and try to keep as much hot air out of it. So if you look on the driver's side, you actually see a little scoop that we made, and just to try to help, you know, kind of gives a nice little custom touch. Little features on this truck that make it's unique in its own. Also, when we were buying parts for this vehicle, if we could buy factory OEM Toyota, we would. The parts store was up the shop like every week dropping off stuff, and we stock a lot of parts in store at our shop, so if you ever need anything, shoot us an email. We have a lot of stuff. If we had to choose between aftermarket parts or OEM Toyota, we would go with the factory parts, just because the fit and finish is so much better. And it's really nice that Toyota has stepped up their game and brought a lot of parts back from being discontinued to help shops like mine make these dreams come true. On this truck, I virtually have like 3 years of time lapse, personally documenting everything about this build. So the vehicle came in, it was stripped down to the bare chassis. Frame was sent out to be sandblasted along with the axles and the drivetrain. The body was pretty much unrepairable. All the old body panels and the old welding that was done from previous shops and stuff like that were pretty bad. Ended up scrapping the tub, put it to the side, and we ended up buying a Crew Cruisers of Texas, one of their reproduction tubs. They're like 10 grand though. And it's only a 3/4 tub, so we got that tub and then we made it up to we had another firewall kicking around the shop off a 1978 Landcruiser, so we mated that to the tub to make a complete tub. What I like about the tub is it has all of the factory spot welds and all of the characteristics of a factory steel tub. Versus an aluminum tub, the aluminum tubs are really good. They don't have any character to them. They're just flat panels. What I like about Land Cruisers versus like Jeeps and stuff like that, they have a lot of character to them. They have a lot of detail in the steel. They have a lot of detail in the body. Makes them kind of their own unique vehicle. Makes them stand out against the crowd. Once we got that all done, we ended up doing the light body work on the frame just to kind of give it a nice smooth look. It had some pitting and stuff like that. Like the truck wasn't perfect when we started, so we wanted to make it a little bit nicer. We went with a Eastwood ceramic black gloss chassis paint on all of the drivetrain and frame components. And then on the body, everything was seam sealed. And primed and painted with all Sherwin-Williams products, base coats and undercoats. We went with a factory dune beige color, as you could have bought, Land Cruiser stock with back in the day. Virtually the only thing that's different is we use base coat clear coat instead of single stage that they would have used, or enamel back in the day. But this thing's a rocket ship, kind of out of control. If I could detune it, that's probably what we would do, but it's drivable, it's tame. You can drive it down the road, but when you get on it, all it wants to do is break loose. It's a pretty wild machine, and you got to drive it carefully. It's a handful. So here we are today up in Hardwick, Massachusetts. We're at one of our favorite spots at the Korzek's farm. I have been personally waiting for probably 3 years to do this because in New England we have such good fall foliage, and it just all the planets aligned today for just the perfect day for videoing and photography. This vehicle is going to be attending SEMA 2022 in November in Las Vegas. This vehicle originally was never intended to be this nice, but since we've got 2 vehicles at the shop that are like really close to being done, and the level of quality, they are perfect candidates to go out there and show off our work. Probably the hardest part of this project was making everything jive together. Either the aftermarket panels fit in the factory panels, or the newer panels versus the older panels from different years. Making everything kind of flow and work and align together was probably one of the hardest things about this truck. But everything had to be done before paint because you can't be doing any of the stuff afterwards. This vehicle restoration took over 2,500 hours to complete. It was a long time. It took about over 3 years to build this vehicle behind us. I wouldn't say every day we worked on it, but pretty close to it. It is the nicest Land Cruiser that has rolled out of our shop. The customer, Todd, let me build this Land Cruiser the way I wanted it. This is like the best of the best Land Cruisers, in my opinion, with all of the right year parts to make custom, cool, one-of-a-kind Land Cruiser. Check out our other Toyota restoration builds. You can also check us out on the web at our new website, gregstoyotarestorations.com.